Hey guys, we're back for another AP Physics 1 free response review, and this time we'll be looking at the 2017's question 4. So in this question, we're given two blocks that are being launched off of ramps that are sitting on tables. And for part A, we're asked if blocks 1 and block 2 are launched the same respective distance from their tables. Well, we see that block 1 actually has a higher initial starting height, and since we know both of their ending heights are the same, we can use the law of conservation of energy to figure out their final velocities at these points. Well, we see if we write it out for block 1, it'll look something like mg times d plus h is going to be equal to mg times h, which is the final potential energy, plus all the kinetic energy that was converted on the block's way down. So this will be velocity 1. And now for the second block, we start at a height mg times d plus u. We'll call this area right here x. Oh, this is h, sorry, minus x. And the ending is very similar. So we'll fill that in. And now we see that these two terms are the same right here. So if we're comparing them, we can just cross them out. And now we're just left with one term on each side of the equation. Well, for the top equation, we know that the left-hand side of the term is just clearly greater, since there's no minus x component in the top part. So if the left side of the equation is greater for the top equation, that means the right side must be greater as well when compared to the bottom one. So we know that v1 will be greater than v2. And since they both start off with 0 vertical velocity, we know that block 1 will land further from the table. So this question is no. And now moving on to part B, we're asked if, again, these two blocks will land the same distance away from their tables. And now that we see that they have the same initial starting height, which means that their final velocities, once they're launched, will be the same. So this one is yes. Now for part 2, it might be easy to assume that they'll spend the same amount of time in the air, which means that they'll hit the floor at the same time. However, block 1 actually reaches the floor first, since it takes less time to get from its initial point to the point of launch, which is right here. Whereas block 2 has a initially less steep slope when compared to block 1. So it'll reach this point. It'll reach the launch point later. So block 1 will hit the floor first. And that's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.